Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And behind me, we have a 2020 Toyota Tacoma that we're going to be installing a full catback dual rough country exhaust system. So if you're looking to get your V6 sounding a little more throaty, well actually a lot more throaty and just better all around sounding, this is the kit for you and at a price you can't argue. All right guys, so before we get started, basically rough country has a full catback exhaust that ends up splitting and being a dual rear exit. I believe it's dual 2.5-inch pipes. And it comes with black tips as well that are oversized. And today we're going to be installing it on this 3.5 V6. Now, this is not for the 4-cylinder models. This is going to only work on the V6 models. Rough Country also has all sorts of kits for other makes, models, and trucks, V8s included, to give it a good throaty sound. We did a video a while back of a Jeep Gladiator with a V6, a similar type displacement engine as this Tacoma right here, and it sounds amazing. So today, we're going to dig into this. All right, what's in the box? Well, everything you need to do this full catback system, including the 16-gauge 409 stainless pipe. I believe the hangers and all the hardware, including the clamps, are 304 stainless. It comes with everything you need to complete this installation, and that is just what we're going to do. Because remember, this has a single side exit right now, and it is going to be a dual exit. And I don't know why my camera just came in and out of focus like that, but bear with me. All right, so what you get in the box is your oversized, I believe these are 4-inch exhaust tips that are powder coated black over a stainless. All the hardware you need, all the clamps, cool decal, the instructions, as well as any extra hangers you need to come out on the passenger side as well. And the exhaust piping, right here. It's right here. Fully welded muffler, stainless exhaust, all the pre-bent hangers, mandrel bent exhaust. It's actually a pretty nice, robust kit. And I've installed these before and been very happy with them, as well as our customers. Let's talk about what we're going to remove. So this is our factory head pipe off the truck. Comes to this flange right here. You're going to remove this flange, break this flange, these bolts. I mean, you could attempt to reuse them. I highly doubt that we'll be able to do that. We're probably going to go with some new hardware on this. It does not come with new hardware, so be aware of that. And you usually can get away with 3/8 bolts if you had to as well. Just so you know. So we break the flange here, take this full exhaust off because it's fully welded, get it out of the hangers, fish it out over the axle here. And you could do this in the driveway. It's just a lot easier on a lift. Yeah, and I made a decision. I'm not even going to attempt to take these out. We are going to get the torch out, cut those things off, get this exhaust out of here in no time. All right, plus anytime I have a chance to use the torch, well, we're going to use it. All right, now that we got the flange separated, and if you don't live in the Rust Belt like us, you might have a better chance of getting those bolts out of there. But what we're going after next are all the exhaust hangers. What we're going to do in order to get that out of there is we're going to spray those with a little bit of lube, and then we're going to use our removal tool here. It just pushes it right out through. You could do it with a set of channel locks, pry bar, a buddy, some muscles. You got it. And if you haven't seen one work before, these clamps basically just like that. It goes behind that rubber isolator, and you just squeeze it and it pushes it right out and through. You see that center section there? Pretty slick little tool. You don't have to get a Mac tool. You can literally find these things on Amazon. I'll actually drop a link down here. All right, old system removed. New one's waiting to go on. Before we do that, all right, first things first, we're gonna clean this flange up. We're gonna get what's left of that stud out of there, ready for some new hardware. Probably gonna use 3/8 grade 8 hardware with this. Inspect your exhaust clamp, make sure that's in good shape because the kit does not come with an exhaust clamp. I mean, yeah, an exhaust gasket. So be aware of that and be prepared to replace it if you need to. All right, once you get the truck side of the flange, because you got the new flange on the new exhaust, all cleaned up and ready to go and inspected. We got the new hardware here. It's just some 3/8 stainless hardware with some locking nuts on there as well. You can get these at any old hardware store. 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches long, that'll do you. And then again, our gasket's okay to reuse, but if it was not, you're gonna wanna get a new gasket. And they are harder to find aftermarket. A lot of times you go right to the dealer and get it there. Now the first pipe you're gonna install is this flange pipe right here. But what you wanna know is if you have the double cab versus the extra cab model, is it will determine whether or not you use this extension pipe right here, okay? So not everyone's gonna use that pipe. So the next pipe to go in is the passenger side, because there's already rubber grommets there for that one, which is laying right there on the floor. So we're gonna go ahead and get that one slid into the muffler and into the isolators. All right, as you can see, we got our flange bolted up there to the exhaust into our muffler. Now, depending on the cab situation on your truck, you may or may not have to use that extension pipe. If you did, it's gonna go right here. But right now, before we even get into the tailpipes and hanging those, and we're gonna do the passenger side first, is everything's loose. Okay, you notice that we don't have anything tightened up, nothing like that, okay? And one thing that's worth mentioning is the clamp that you're going to use on the inlet side of your muffler has the hanger built in it. So that's going to go into the factory rubber isolator hanger that's on the truck itself, and it's dual purpose, so it actually clamps onto that front pipe. The rear two have their hangers built right into them. All right, so we're doing the passenger side exhaust first. So I'm going to go ahead and slide that into this hanger, like so. And then into the muffler. Maybe I should have done it vice versa. I don't know. But it does work, and it does go together. And then once it slides in, like so, you're going to get it in this rearmost hanger right here. Again, we're not tightening anything just yet. We're just putting it in, just putting the exhaust in the hangers. We'll tighten everything last. And next is the driver's side. The driver's side tailpipe pipe is 2 pieces because we got to get around that spare tire because this thing does not have the second dual pipe on it. This is something we're adding. So it's kind of foreign. It's not supposed to be set up on this truck like this, but Rough Country has it all planned out, and I'll show you here when we get things settled in. All right, on the passenger side, just behind the shock and the cross member, there's a hole, factory hole in the frame. You're gonna use the hardware they give you right through that hole, as well as this stainless hanger. Secure that with a nut, and then they also give you a nice little, it's red, but a isolator. So you go ahead and slide that isolator on there next, and we can hang our tailpipe. All right, so next goes their isolator, and before we tighten this clamp down, we're sliding that on because getting it in there with the spare tire in place is tough. And the last thing you've got here is this, like, I guess you call it a locking washer. It's gonna help hold that isolator onto the exhaust hanger itself, and you can use pliers or whatever you gotta use to slide it on the end of that shaft, and it holds the isolator in place. All right, the last piece of pipe is this right here. This is the passenger side tailpipe. So it goes into that intermediate section we just put in, and then it's gonna swing over, going in there, and in this isolator that we just put in. And it can be a pain. If you've gotta lower the spare to do it, you may have to do so. All right, once you get it all in there, so we didn't have to lower the spare. It was tight, we fought around a little bit, but you have another one of these locking washers that goes on the other side of the isolator to help hold that hanger in place. So what I like to do is work from front to back when I tighten the exhaust. Our flange is already tightened down. We're gonna start with this clamp here. We're gonna snug it down. I'm not going ahead and doing full torque or reefing this down just yet. And then start snugging down the tailpipes. Boy, I'm struggling with that one. And as you can see, there's an interference up there. You wanna make sure they're not gonna hit each other as well. So you clamp, so then you're gonna go to these two, then that one. We'll get our exhaust tip slid on there and make sure everything's good to go before we give it a final tightening. All right, one thing worth mentioning is having a helping hand when you're putting this exhaust and rounding and like moving the pipes and holding them so they're not hitting each other or anything else. Having somebody over here hold this pipe while you tighten that one, it helps a lot. And having the truck on a lift helps a lot too. Do you need it? No, but it's a lifesaver. Last up, we're gonna slide these exhaust tips on. We'll get them pretty close to even, so we'll probably lower the truck back down some. And then we're gonna tighten up these with a 10 millimeter wrench and socket. All right. So once you have it where you want it about, I'm gonna go ahead and snug this down. We'll lower the truck down, get them even to each other, and then tighten everything down. All right, we have the truck lowered down now, and you get to see the fitment of your exhaust tips and everything else, and it's a good time to bang on the exhaust and make sure you don't have any interferences and stuff like that. So sometimes like when I need, bang on it. The last thing you want is to drive down the road and hear rattling. So what we'll do is we'll put it back up in the air, make any final adjustments, tighten everything down, then we can hear this thing. Today we installed the Rough Country catback stainless exhaust system on this 2020 Toyota Tacoma. Now they make this exhaust system to fit a whole slew of different trucks, models, years, you name it. V8s, V6s. This happened to be the V6. It does not fit the 4-cylinder. It will only fit the V6. Now we got an initial startup sound cut. I think it's a good time. Let's back this outside before we wrap the video up and get a couple clips of it revving up so you guys can get the gist of what the V6 sounds like. I dig it. Yep. All right guys, here we are at an idle. The truck's pretty quiet, pretty well mannered. I'm gonna go ahead and rev it up a little bit in neutral so you can kind of hear what it sounds like at different RPM. Just to kind of give you an idea.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119
kind of gives you an idea of what it sounds like not under a load. Then we'll set it up for a couple little drive-bys so you kind of hear what it sounds like under a load with the truck driving down the road. I know in-cab noise on these things, I don't know about the Tacoma, but the Jeep Gladiator that we did it in, there's not a lot of droning or anything like that, so that was a good feature as well. So that's going to wrap up this YouTube video today. This was another rough country install we did, and it kind of gives you an idea of what's involved to do an exhaust system, our catback exhaust system on your truck. The rough country makes a great stainless exhaust system. It's got a deep mellow tone. It sounds good on the V6 as well as the V8, which is in the price point itself at under, I believe they're under $700, right around there. You can't beat that exhaust system. So I encourage you to jump on over to our playlist, Rough Country. You can see all kinds of cool installs. Some of them are even on this truck here. So take care, guys. Scott, Flip and Customize.